Hey, it's Wednesday, time for another Action Figure Adventures video here on SEO Tour Review. Today, baby Skeletor and I are taking a look at some flea market finds. So it's definitely weird being at the flea markets again. You know, we had to wear masks and things like that. They had vendors set up every other spot. That was what was going on in New Jersey. I've been to one in Pennsylvania where they were wearing masks, but they didn't seem to be worried about spacing out the vendors as much. Sort of a little bit more of a at your own risk kind of thing. I'm really looking forward to things going back to normal. But I did get to hang out with my friend Rose from RetroCon, and that was pretty awesome. First up, I've got some Fisher-Price Little People. I've always been a big fan of the Little People since I was a little kid. I especially like the slightly older ones from, I guess, the 70s that were wooden. As a kid, I mostly had plastic Little People in the early 80s, but my cousins gave us some that were theirs that were wooden. And so when I find wooden Little People, I like to pick them up. I found this to be kind of interesting because this was something I didn't know. These girls both have wooden bodies, but this one has a wooden face and this one has a plastic face. So I didn't know they switched over. I mean, they always knew they had plastic wigs and hats and things, but I didn't know they switched over to having plastic faces on wooden bodies at any point in time. So I find that kind of interesting. The main reason I got this set, though, in addition to just liking wooden mini people, the guy with the pan on his head is my all-time favorite little person. And there was actually two here, but the one's pretty badly sun-faded. But I just had to get a wooden version of this guy. I also found a bunch of Duplos. The newer Duplo people are a lot more like action figures. They have articulation at shoulders and legs instead of just being bricks. These guys remind me a lot of the Fisher-Price Little People. Now, I don't really collect Duplos, but my girlfriend's kids just recently got into them in a big way, so when I saw this bin for $2 at the flea market, I couldn't leave it behind. I bought a bunch of Construx. Do you guys remember Construx? Most people remember the blue nut-type pieces or connectors that you can build stuff out of. These were made by Mattel in the late 80s. This is one of my favorite things to build out of them. This is my version of the X-Wing fighter. And you can kind of squeeze a Kenner, Luke, and R2-D2 in this thing if you want. I used to make these all the time to use my Star Wars figures. And I actually did a video with Mike Matei on this toy line if you want more info. In the bin that the Construx were in, there were also these two booklets. One for Robotech Robo-Lynx, the most transformable robot in the galaxy. This did not come with it, you know, but the booklet was just somehow mixed in with it. And I thought it was kind of interesting, so I figured I'd show it off a little bit here. These are the kind of pieces you find in lots at yard sales and flea markets, and you can't figure out what toy line, you know, just one random piece was. Like, one of my friends had this little robot as a kid, and we had no idea what it went to. And then there was also this Connects the Action Building System by Fisher-Price instruction book, Star Force Command Set. Look at how cool that spaceship is. This booklet is very well worn. A lot of these seams have been taped up. But it is kind of neat. It shows off the different types of Construx pieces. It shows different ways of integrating them, how to practically use the pieces to build different things. Not so much actual instructions to build a specific vehicle. And then on the back side, there are just pictures of different things that were built using that set. So it's more of ideas than actual instructions. And I kind of remember that as a kid. Looking at pictures, trying to figure out how to build the stuff was very common. Their X-Wing fighter looks more off-model than mine, but I do like how the wings actually have panels to them. The last thing I got was a talking Pee-wee Herman doll. I had this as a kid, loved it. Later on, parted ways with talking Pee-wee, and I had the cherry that went with him that he could sit in. This is a pull-string doll, and it does speak, but not well. I'm actually going to save the demonstration of that. Actually, I am going to do a full review on this guy. Unfortunately, you're going to have to wait a while. It's going to be part of my December Christmas Memories series that I do. But I was really excited to get him because I've been kind of hoping to be able to do a video on that. I know this was kind of a small haul this time, but, you know, it was the first time back. Usually these videos are a compilation of a couple visits to the flea markets, unless I have a really hot day. So, you know, this was more of a hooray, we can go back to doing these kinds of things again. Thanks for watching this Action Figure Adventures video. Do baby Skeletor a favor, hit that like and subscribe button.